Hey friends, Sean from SGT Report here with a very important update. Given the December 5th hearing in which Huber will update House Republicans on the ongoing investigation into the Clinton Foundation's criminality, I just wanted to remind those critics who say, but nothing is happening, or who say, I'll believe it when I see it. I was watching the HBO documentary The Price of Everything the other night when an art dealer in that documentary said, there are three kinds of people in the world, and she's right. She said there are those who can see, those who are shown and then can see, and there are those who can never see. Friends, do you remember on August 8th, 2018, when that DOJ Boeing 757 landed in Little Rock, Arkansas? And according to a local radio station, DOJ employees were loading boxes of documents onto that plane. It's important to note that there were two trips of that same plane down to Little Rock, Arkansas, the birthplace to the Clinton criminal cartel. Well, I was watching this very lucid and important video from the YouTube channel And We Know, in which I was reminded of this important website, CoreyDiggs.com. I don't normally read articles in full, but this one deserves to be, because for those with the eyes to see, there are things happening as we speak. Arkansas swamp bleeds as Clintons circle the drain. Many have read sprinkles of press releases from the Justice Department regarding arrests and indictments coming out of Arkansas, but few have observed the magnitude of this swamp creature and all its tentacles. Guys, before I go on, I just want you to understand, when we hear of all these sealed indictments and we think about draining the swamp, just consider how big that swamp is. It's actually more of an ocean, which may well explain why it's taking so long to see the high-level arrests that we all want to see. The article continues, they rarely tie the individuals into the big picture in the press releases. So oftentimes it's a quick, another swamp creature down, without realizing they all connect. Aside from local news outlets in Arkansas that require paid subscriptions to read the news, the Arkansas swamp is getting little to no coverage. Remember the plane full of documents in Little Rock? That's the DOJ plane, friends. Everyone was speculating as to who, what it could be about, and hoping it had to do with the Clinton Foundation investigations. Is it possibly connected to this ongoing investigation into legislator fraud? In August 2018, Deputy Attorney General Lloyd Warford said that investigators have at least 4 million documents in a vault and another 200 gigabytes of information they have collected from the Department of Human Services. Warford also confirmed that more lawmakers are under investigation by the state in cooperation with the federal investigation. They have already convicted over a dozen individuals in one case alone, several of which are former or current legislators. One former senator has already begun his 18-year prison sentence, and there are a slew of other individuals listed in indictments, and it's quite an extensive list. Furthermore, on January 4th, 2018, the Justice Department launched a new inquiry into whether the Clinton Foundation engaged in any pay-to-play politics or other illegal activities while Hillary Clinton served as Secretary of State. As far back as October 31st, 2016, the Wall Street Journal reported the FBI field offices in New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Little Rock had been collecting information on the charity for more than a year. That's an interesting timeline, as it aligns with the Arkansas swamp case emerging as well. Apparently, the LA office had gathered information about the foundation in an unrelated public corruption case. Interestingly, lower-level FBI agents stated that Andrew McCabe instructed them to stand down. Funny now with hindsight to learn that it's McCabe who got tossed out, thanks to President Trump. Now, one might speculate there have been Clinton Foundation investigative documents compiled from multiple states going back to 2015, and those documents were placed into the appropriate hands in 2017. That's quite a head start. Coincidentally, the more recent Clinton Foundation probe was also examining whether any tax-exempt assets were converted for personal or political use, and if the foundation complied with applicable tax laws. Now, friends, a side note here, we know because of the research of Charles Ortel that the Clinton Foundation didn't comply with any applicable tax laws or reporting as required for all charitable foundations. The article goes on. Why is this a coincidence? These areas of investigation are precisely what they have been investigating with other elected officials and appointed officials in the Arkansas swamp case. Do these investigations overlap, or perhaps tie together somewhere along the rope? Hard to say just yet. One thing, though, is for certain. They are hunting webs. These are not single criminal incidents. They are going after the networks. This is not about flinging snowballs. This is about creating an avalanche. The question is, who will be rolled up in this snowstorm? Friends, the Clintons are circling the drain. Number one, the turn of events that are coming up over the next several weeks are quite timely. As Sarah Carter recently reported, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte notified colleagues last week that he will subpoena Comey for a closed-door deposition November 29th and Loretta Lynch for December 5th as part of the investigation into the FBI and DOJ's handling of the Hillary Clinton email probe in the Russia investigation. Number two, meanwhile, Judicial Watch saw yet another victory in their ongoing case against the U.S. Department of State. Judicial Watch announced that U.S. District Court Judge Emmett G. Sullivan ruled that within 30 days, Hillary Clinton must answer under oath 2 additional questions about her controversial email system. Question number 1. Describe the creation of the ClintonEmail.com system, including who decided to create the system, the date it was decided to create the system, why it was created, who set it up, and when it became operational. Friends, if you don't think this drags the Owans back into this entire scandal, think again. Question 2. During your October 22, 2015 appearance before the U.S. House of Representatives Select Committee on Benghazi, you testified that 90 to 95% of your emails, quote, were in the state's system, end quote. And, quote, if they wanted to see them, they would certainly have been able to do so. Identify the basis for this statement, including all facts on which you relied in support of the statement, how and when you became aware of these facts, and if you were made aware of these facts by or through another person, identify the person who made you aware of these facts.
What difference at this point does it make? It is our job to figure out what happened and do everything we can to prevent it from ever happening again, Senator.
Now keep in mind, folks, Hillary Clinton will be required to answer these questions under oath at risk of perjuring herself. And number 3, by far the biggest bombshell published by The Hill, was the announcement of the GOP holding a hearing on December 5th into the DOJ's probe of the Clinton Foundation. The timing is simply divine, with Sessions stepping down, Whitaker stepping up, and Huber stepping in. And friends, you know we covered this in my recent video, D5, Nothing Can Stop What's Coming. And back to the article from CoreyDiggs.com, number 4. One surprise drop on November 16, 2018 was ABC News reporting that nearly 3 dozen sealed criminal indictments have been added to the Washington, D.C. docket since the start of 2018, 14 of which were added since last August alone. Though these sealed indictments certainly don't come as a great shock to many, it's the timeline that is key. Until they are unsealed, the names remain a mystery. Number 5. The Clintons' 2017 tax returns are out, indicating a 90% decrease in donations between 2014 to 2017, declining from $182.5 million to just $22.8 million in 2017. This is very telling, being as she lost the ability for pay-to-play schemes since she didn't win the presidential election. Also, it would be a grave mistake to donate to the Clintons with the ongoing investigations. Keep in mind, the Clinton Foundation is not their only cash cow. They have 50 organizations, foundations, shell companies, initiatives, and LLCs, with some documented as being in other countries. Despite their creative ways of moving cash flow around, it's still a very good sign that donors are taking a step back from donating to the Clinton Foundation. And guys, as I previously mentioned, Charles Ortel, the brilliant financial analyst who has discussed the Clintons' tax returns year after year, exposing their inconsistencies in illegal filings, had this to say. Former Representative Corrine Brown, a Democrat from Florida, and Steve Stockman, a Republican from Texas, have each been convicted for separate charity frauds of about $1 million each, and Brown is currently serving a 5-year federal prison term, while Stockman just received a 10-year federal prison term. Now, charity frauds of the scale attempted by the Clintons must be completely investigated and exposed, Ortel says. To restore balance and equity in the administration of justice, All parties involved in the Clinton charity frauds must be indicted, tried, ideally convicted, and then sentenced to federal prisons. This group should include trustees, directors, executives, and professional advisors. It may also include certain substantial donors who must have known better. If indictments do not happen, then we will learn, sadly, that the fix is in, even under the Trump administration. Before you panic, friends, just remember that DOJ plane landing in Little Rock, Arkansas, the home, the birthplace to all of this Clinton criminality.
We're just now starting to work with a couple of whistleblowers that would indicate that there is a great probability of significant improper activity that's happening in and around the Clinton Foundation.
And this excellent article from CoreyDiggs.com concludes, consider the timing and implications of all of the above while reviewing what's been transpiring with the Arkansas swamp. Are the walls closing in on the Clintons? Because it sure feels like the Clintons are circling the drain. So friends, that one goes out to all the critics who say, but nothing is happening. I'll believe it when I see it. Because there are three kinds of people in the world: those who can see, those who are shown and then can see, and those who can never see. Thanks so much for tuning in, and for real news 24/7, visit us at sgtreport.com.
Unthinkable that a politician 50 years ago like Barack Obama would have at least 5 different Social Security numbers, which he did. We can't even talk about that now because they shout you down, and that's what the left does at this point. It's all about name calling and killing the messenger.